And so he had the 2007 basically new construction home that he personally built. And then he decided that he was going to sell that home and buy a bigger house for his growing family. And then he was trying to decide if he was going to sell the rental property, and he wasn't sure. And he's like, maybe I'll keep one and continue to rent it. So he did a sharp thing for himself. What he decided to do is that he sold the rental property, right? And he made okay money on that and everything. And then he decided to keep, and then he used that money to help buy the new bigger home. But he decided to keep the home that he actually was living in at the time and turn that into a rental.
All right. Sweet.
So that was like 15 something, around 2015, 2016, I'm guessing, right? So now here it is 8, 6, 7 years later, and he's really happy in the home that he bought, a few years ago. He's really happy with that house and so happy that we found that house for him. And now he's decided to sell the rental property that used to be his original homestead house.
Way better positioning equity-wise, right?
When I sat down with him, I was hoping that he wasn't going to overprice the house, because that's a very common problem with sellers right now. Even in Port St. Lucie, you overprice it, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
And even if you don't overprice it, you still have to be patient. So I wasn't sure what he was going to do, because he's putting a lot of money into the house because it's been a rental for so long. He was very reasonable on the price because his perspective of what he paid for it, and he wants to move it because he doesn't want to hold on to it. Based on the very conservative price that we think we can sell it for, he turned to me and I go, "Are you okay with that, Chris?" And he said, "Jim, that the money I'm going to net on this house is more than I paid for the new construction home when I built it." Right? Think about that.
Yeah.
So he's paying off the mortgage for the new construction house, and then has all the money that he paid, like for the purchase price for that house, he's getting in his pocket again. And he was smart, because instead of selling the rental property, which was a wood frame home and it was older, he decided to swap his rental properties and dump the one rental property that was older and keep the more modern house as a rental property. And I just think he did really well. And it also shows in just a few short years, 8 years, he almost doubled the price of what he paid for that new construction home. So it's out there. It's true. These are real stories. It happens all the time. It's hard when you're not a homeowner to know this and understand that the words coming out of our mouths are really actually what really happens in real life.
Yep.
Even you, Johnny, were at that point.
Absolutely.
If you could just one more time let people know how that thinking really isn't. I know it sounds logical and it's fear-based, but it's not really what happens in real life most of the time.
Yeah, and so even if it is just a laundry list of what you perceive to be bad news when you sit down, it's all attainable, it's all fixable, because what you're given is and I know sometimes you can be like, oh man, that path is a long path. It happens very quickly, and I know, because I was there, where tomorrow is going to be 10 years of me getting my keys to my home, my first home. And I understand that exactly what that feeling is of, I'm never going to be able to buy. It's not even worth finding out. Like, I get that. But I think the analogy I used is it's kind of like looking out at like an ocean of water. It feels like it's just miles long, but when you step out into that fear, you realize it's just an inch deep, and it's very, very, you can deal with every step. Believe me. But it starts with going to FloridaTalkRealEstate.com, getting with the pros. There are people that are great at what they do everywhere. If you have a resource and you feel great about it, do that. Pick up the phone and call them. I would tell you to call the Florida Talk Real Estate team. My friends and family, they do exactly that. And you are that. You're my friends. You're my family, real radio family for many years. So go to FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Get with the best of the best. Starts with a conversation with Mike Rao. Find out where you're at. Find out your positioning. Find out how attainable it is. And find out how just a few changes could change things for you dramatically. I know we've had this conversation recently. Here's where you're at right now. If you do this, you'll be there. If you do that too, you'll be there where you want to be. Well, now it's up to me. I feel good about kind of where we're at, but I might have to do some little adjusting to get to what I'm looking for. That's what you do. You find your goal, you find your end game, and you work towards it if that's what you want. And home ownership is attainable. And there's lots of resources for you, especially as a first-time home buyer. I know, I've been there, I've done that. Go to FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Find out for yourself. It's real seamless. It's easy. And again, you get a team of pros, experts in their field. You get them all at the one-stop real estate shop. That is FloridaTalkRealEstate.com on Facebook and YouTube as well. Write it down. Know it, use it, love it, share it. You can change lives with FloridaTalkRealEstate.com and the team of pros. Let's do a little reset. We get back at it. What are we going to talk about?
We're going to have a little fun. We're going to do an inflation quiz. You know, Johnny, how you always say that you feel like the inflation reports aren't really realistic compared to real life?
Yeah.
Well, I found a little inflation. The CPI report just came out, and it broke it down by categories of items and what's inflated and what isn't.
Oh, nice.
So we're going to do a little quiz and find out what's inflated and what isn't according to the new CPI report.
Is Greek's ego number one on that list? We'll find out soon.
Boom.
Speaking of Greek, the locker room's coming up in about an hour. If he can get that ego through the door.
I think so.
Yeah, he's been great at it for years.
We'll grease it up.
I got to be on the radio next 2-3 hours.
I love that man so much.
3 hours, right?
We'll
4
grease
hours.
it up. Yep.
What do you guys do? 3 or 4 hours?
Today is going to be an hour and a half because the Florida Gators pregame is going to preempt us at 12:30. So
A&M going down today. Suckers.
I forgot to talk to you about that home opener winning streak.
We're good.
Yeah,
we're good.
Remember that?
It's good.
Yeah,
it's good. No need to bring that up again.
I've never seen a move along in my life that was
I forgot to bring up that thing that was terrible. Remember that thing that was terrible?
I just remember talking about it.
Want to bring that up again?
Yeah.
Hey, remember that thing?
Carpet's lifted. Sweep that right under there.
Remember that like gut punch you took? Want to bring that up again? Thanks, Mike. Phenomenal.
Mike.
We're gonna do all that and more in about 4 minutes from now. We'll have a little fun with inflation. Thanks again, Mike. Appreciate that. It's Florida Talk Real Estate right here on Real Radio.
What's a Real Radio podcast? It's Real Radio on demand. Find your favorite show at realradio921.com. Here's the latest with weather on Real Radio.
From the Gordon & Partners Weather Center. Have you been injured in a motor vehicle accident? Call 561-333-3333 or go to fortheinjured.com.
And CBS 12 meteorologist Charlotte Kroll, high temperatures are going to be in the low 90s this afternoon. Some areas further south will get close to the mid-90s. We have a heat advisory in effect today for most of the area today. Expect scattered showers to start to build around mid-afternoon, and then they become more widespread through the evening.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples prints anything you need for your business, like banners, flyers, and signs. And Staples will beat any price quote. Plus, now print more, save more, up to $150 off your print purchase. Offer ends 11/2. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details or staples.com/price match for price match guarantee.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rao from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rao will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida.